All right, today we are diving into something absolutely incredible. Your body's built-in alarm bell, the sympathetic nervous system. This is the automatic system that, in the blink of an eye, flips a switch and gets you ready for a crisis.
You know that feeling, right? That sudden jolt of pure fear. Maybe a car swerves into your lane, your heart just hammers in your chest, your breath catches, and suddenly every sense you have is razor sharp. That isn't just a feeling, that's a high-speed, full-body takeover. So what's actually pulling all the strings?
Well, you've just met your sympathetic nervous system, or SNS for short. The best way to think about it is as your body's own internal crisis management team. The second it even thinks there's a threat, it seizes control to prepare you for whatever is coming next. Now, the SNS isn't working alone. It's one half of a really important duo. While the sympathetic system is your fight-or-flight gas pedal, burning energy to mobilize your entire body at once, its partner, the parasympathetic system, is the rest and digest brake. It's the one that calms things down, rebuilds the body, and focuses on specific organs after the danger has passed. They're total opposites, but they're in perfect balance.
So where does this high-speed network actually come from? It's not all in your brain. The nerves for the sympathetic system branch out from the middle of your back, the thoracic and lumbar parts of your spinal cord. This central location is totally key because it lets the system blast signals out to every single part of your body with incredible speed.
Okay, so the alarm has been pulled. What happens next is just this breathtaking cascade of changes, a total head-to-toe response that transforms you in a matter of seconds. Let's walk through exactly what that looks like.
The very first signals shoot right up to your command center, your head. This is all about maximizing sensory input so you can figure out what you're dealing with.
And the effects are immediate. Your pupils get huge to let in as much light as possible. Your eyelids pull back, widening your field of view. Blood gets shunted away from your skin. That's why people go pale with fright. It's also why your hair stands on end, giving you goosebumps. Even your saliva changes. It gets thicker to start digesting carbs for quick energy. Every single one of these changes has a very specific purpose.
All right, you've assessed the threat. Now your body's engine room, your heart and lungs, gets the signal to power up for some serious physical work.
This is exactly why your heart starts pounding in your chest. The SNS is telling your heart muscle to beat harder and faster. It even opens up the arteries that feed the heart itself to give it more fuel. At the exact same time, your airways widen, letting you suck in way more oxygen to fuel the fire. Okay, now your body has to make a tough call. In a crisis, you need energy for your muscles, not for digesting your lunch, right? So the SNS triggers this massive rerouting of resources, right in your abdomen. Your body makes a choice. Survival is priority one, so your entire digestive system is basically put on hold. But at the same time, your liver gets the command for something called glycogenolysis, which is a fancy way of saying it dumps a ton of stored sugar into your bloodstream for an instant energy boost. And then comes the really critical step. It stimulates the adrenal gland. And this is the real game changer. The adrenal gland floods your body with catecholamines. You probably know them as adrenaline and noradrenaline. These hormones are like a chemical supercharger. They take that initial nerve signal and just amplify it, making sure every single cell in your body gets the memo. It is go time.
So, you've got fuel in your blood, you've got oxygen in your lungs. The final piece of the puzzle is prepping the very tools you'll need to either fight or run, your skeletal muscles.
And it's not just about pumping more blood to them. The SNS triggers something called the Orbelie phenomenon, which is basically a direct performance enhancement for your muscles. First, your contractions get stronger. Then, you don't get tired as quickly. And finally, you recover from fatigue faster. Your body is literally making your muscles superhuman, even if it's just for a few moments.
So let's zoom out and put all these pieces together. What we've just walked through, from the wide eyes to the supercharged muscles, is the complete alarm response. That's the scientific term for what we all call fight or flight. And that's really what it is, a generalized system-wide activation designed for one thing, and one thing only, to maximize your chances of surviving an emergency. The end result is a total transformation. Blood is strategically rerouted to your brain, your heart, and your muscles. Your mind becomes hyper-alert. Your blood even gets ready to clot faster in case you get hurt. You are, in every possible sense of the word, a body that is primed for action. But what happens when this perfectly tuned system gets a glitch? Looking at a clinical example can be a really fascinating way to appreciate just how important the SNS really is.
Let's take a look at something called Horner's syndrome. This happens when the sympathetic nerves going to one side of the face get damaged. It gives us this perfect before and after picture of the SNS at work by showing us exactly what happens when it's gone.
And look at the symptoms. They're the exact opposite of the fight or flight response. Instead of the pupil getting bigger, it gets smaller. Instead of the eyelid pulling up, it droops down. The skin can't sweat, and because the blood vessels aren't being squeezed, the skin gets all red and flushed. It's such a powerful way to see the constant, quiet work the SNS is doing all the time, just by showing us what happens when those wires are cut.
When you step back and look at it, what we have here is this silent, powerful system that protects us every single day. It's an ancient network that literally transforms our physiology in an instant, giving us everything we need to face whatever the world decides to throw at us.
So, the next time your heart starts pounding and your senses feel sharp, take a second. Instead of just feeling that stress or that fear, maybe you'll recognize it for what it truly is, your body's ancient, expertly designed alarm bell, ringing loud and clear to keep you safe.